And there came a point where he was just like, I can't say no to this anymore, and I want to explore this. He came to me. He one day just messaged me and was like, you know what? I do want to explore this. I do want to look at this. Welcome back to Twin Flames Universe, where you will discover twin flames, spirituality, and eternal love. I am Kanisha. I'm a certified ascension coach, and today's video and topic is going to be on how I manifested union in a committed relationship with my true twin flame after receiving so many no's over the past years. So before we get started, don't forget to grab a piece of paper and pen, relax, don't forget to subscribe and like, and let's go ahead and jump into this video. So if you have been following my journey, you will know that it was not just an instant coming into union with my twin flame, that work absolutely had to be done in order to come into union with my twin flame and really claim our committed relationship to each other. And over the last year has been quite a journey for me. But as of last Christmas, we're now in January of 2025, Christmas of 2024, my twin flame and I were friends, but we were not in a space of being in a committed relationship, nor did he want to have a committed relationship. And it wasn't so much that he didn't want to have a committed relationship with me. It was more that he had a lot of fears and hurt around relationships in general. And so altogether, he was just saying no to it. And I had to have compassion for what he was moving through and ultimately respect the experience that he was moving through in his reality. So I'm going to give you the steps on how I moved through this and ended up manifesting union about 6 months later. So the first thing that I did was I had to really listen to what God was telling me about this connection and relationship. And I had to understand that my true twin flame is a direct reflection of my relationship with God. God would manifest physically through my twin flame to love me in the way that I deserve to be loved. And so when I honored that understanding that my true twin flame is going to be a direct reflection of my relationship with God, I had to look at where this man that God continuously brought me back to, no matter how many times I tried to walk away from him, how many times we said no to each other, how many times we looked like we were breaking up or going different directions or not going to be friends. Every time we came back to each other. And so I couldn't deny that anymore. And I had to really recognize that he was bringing up a lot of my deep core hurts and pains to the surface so that I could love myself in that space. So that was number one, was really focusing on how is he directing me closer to God and directing me closer to love? That was an important step for me to really be able to honor the twin flame dynamic and the purpose of the twin flame, which is to guide you back to God and to help you ascend into the highest and truest version of yourself. And you can't do that when you're holding on to all of these past hurts and pains from previous relationships, whether it has to do with family, friends, or romantic or platonic relationships. If you're holding on to those things, your twin flame is going to reflect them back. I really had to focus on listening to what God was sharing with me about this connection and what he was trying to guide me to look at in order to come into alignment with love. The second thing I had to do was not take personally what my twin flame was doing or saying. Now, this is a hard one, especially if you're not fully in the work and doing your inner work and taking full responsibility of your feelings and your reality. And I also had to work with an ascension coach to really help me not attach to the things that were coming up in my union that my twin flame was showing me. Because it's not always comfortable having your upsets or your hurts come up to the surface and be mirrored back to you by the person that you desire to be with most. And so when you have that support, it'll be much easier to not take it personally. I am now in a space where every once in a while I'll take something personally, but because I'm so grounded in the work, I always remember he's my twin flame. It's not personal. What is it that he's showing me here? He is my ultimate teacher. And every time I move through it, I receive the lesson and the golden nugget that he was giving me, and then we come to a place of peace together and a deeper level of love. And usually there's an apology attached to it, but I don't do the work to get the apology. I do the work to feel better. And because he's my twin flame, he mirrors that back to me, and we come into a place of peace together. and much deeper love. So know that what your twin flame is showing you is not personal. I did take it very personal when he would say things like, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, because I saw it as I was not deserving or not enough or not worthy of his love and attention. And really what he was saying energetically was, no, I will not have a relationship with this version of you. And when I did the mirror exercise and looked at that, I realized I was saying no to having a loving and complete relationship with myself, being really present with myself, truly showing up for myself, ultimately being my ultimate lover for myself. I was seeking this validation and love and reassurance and closeness from outside of myself, from my twin flame. And he energetically was saying, no, you don't get that from me. You get that from within yourself and from source. And so I had to really look at where I was saying no to having a loving relationship with me, a committed relationship with me, and ultimately where I was saying no to having a loving and committed relationship with God. When I really focused on having a loving, committed relationship with God and myself, my twin flame was naturally attracted to that. And there came a point where he was just like, I can't say no to this anymore, and I want to explore this. He came to me. He one day just messaged me and was like, you know what? I do want to explore this. I do want to look at this. And ultimately, because I came to the understanding within myself that my primary relationship was with God, and like I said earlier, your relationship with your twin flame is a direct reflection of your relationship with God. Because I chose to come into union with God and within myself, my twin flame reflected that back to me. And so I had to allow myself to fully relax into that, fully commit to that, and allowing my relationship to be God first, then myself, then my twin flame, then everyone else. And when I really applied that order, that is when things really started to shift and change, because I was ultimately receiving all of the love that I desired from God, my creator, and also from within myself. And so I was releasing any codependent relationship patterns that I had had from previous relationships. And I was also really choosing to recognize that the love that I wanted from my twin flame was the love that I already had within myself, and I could just relax into it. And that naturally attracted my twin flame, because he could feel that I just wanted to love him. I didn't want to get anything from him. I just genuinely wanted to be in his space and enjoy him and his company. And naturally that attracted him into my space. So you need to really let go of taking things personally, seeing that it is God who is going to manifest through your twin flame, and seeking the things that you desire from your twin flame from God first, and genuinely going to God for those things, not just because you want to get something from your twin flame, but because you genuinely want to have a relationship with divine, with your creator, with love. That is going to be an important step for you. The third thing that I did was that I released attachment to how things were going to unfold. And I also released attachment to what my twin flame was doing and saying, because I knew, again, that it wasn't personal. And when I released attachment, I could really just move through what was coming up by using the mirror exercise. And every time I moved through every upset that was presented to me by my twin flame, especially when he would say no, or that he didn't want to explore this, or that he just felt like it wasn't for him, I always found deeper gratitude when I moved through the upset completely, because it did bring me closer to love, and I felt deeper peace in that space. And I was always just so grateful that he loved me unconditionally by triggering me and bringing up this upset to the surface. So know that if your twin flame is upsetting you, it's because they love you so much that they're bringing up that deep core wound and hurt for it to come to the surface for you to clear. And once you clear it, they're going to meet you there in love if they're truly your twin flame. So releasing attachment and persisting through healing the upset is going to be a really important step to manifesting your union and a committed relationship with your twin flame. The fourth thing that I did was that I loved my twin flame unconditionally, and I loved him and had compassion for him no matter what he was moving through. I knew that a lot of what he was responding from was a place of hurt. He had been hurt in a previous relationship, so he was very guarded and he was very unsure that he could trust love again. And I had to have compassion for him because I knew that had to be very painful for him to sit in those patterns and those beliefs and upsets. And all I could do was heal how I felt about those things. I couldn't heal for him ultimately. I couldn't make him heal or choose him to heal. I couldn't help him release something by being like, I need you to release this because I'm not going to hurt you like she did. I couldn't do those things because it was at a much core level for him to have to work through. And ultimately, he had to move through that with God. And so all I could do was unconditionally love him and hold space for him as he moved through things. And by doing that over the last 3 years, I've known him since high school, but we reconnected 3 years ago. And instantly we started to grow a friendship. And I knew at probably like 4 months in that this person was probably my twin flame, but I had a lot of resistance and I didn't really want to pursue it because we had mutual friends. But over time, I continuously held space for him as he moved through really hard feelings about his previous relationship. And I just loved him there. I didn't try to change him. I didn't try to make him heal. I just loved him and had compassion for him. And it actually allowed him to move through it quicker. And through that process, it allowed him to build trust with me and to also realize that we had a friendship at the center of our relationship. And that I ultimately loved him because I desired to, not because I wanted something from him. And God called me to love him there. So over time, he started to build a lot of trust with me. And he did feel this desire to be with me, but he had a lot of fear about being with me. And so I ultimately had to just trust the process. I had to trust the inner work. I had to trust that if I was healing, he was healing too. And that we were going to move through the block no matter what. But I had to continue being persistent through moving through the block as it presented itself, because sometimes it would come in layers. And I, at one point, literally thought this is never going to happen. We are never coming into union. But with that thought process, that's exactly what you're going to experience. And so the last thing that I had to do in order to manifest my union was seeing my wish fulfilled. So no matter how hard the upset was or how big the block was or how many times he said no, I still imagined being in harmonious union with my true twin flame. And I had to release attachment if that was going to be him or not. Even though God continuously showed me that this is your person, I have to release attachment and trust that if for whatever reason he was not my person, he was bringing up everything that I needed to heal in order to come into union with my true twin flame. It was either going to be him or it was going to be the right person. And ultimately it ended up being him. But it was really important for me to just trust what was coming up and see my wish fulfilled. I imagine us being together. I imagine us having a healthy relationship. I imagine us doing this work together. I imagine him knowing that we were twin flames. I imagine what it would feel like and be like being in a true, unconditionally loving relationship with him. And I will have to share just a quick story, but last Christmas, we did not spend Christmas together. We were just friends. And I remember feeling really sad and lonely and just longing for my twin flame. And I was upset that he was spending Christmas with his family and not me. And so I realized that I was holding on to this belief that I was not my twin flame's family. I was not part of his family and that I was never going to be part of his family. And that felt bad because if I'm truly his twin flame, then I am his family. So I had to let go of that belief and love myself there. And I sat there and imagined being a part of his family, spending time with them on Christmas, eating dinner with them, opening presents, singing and listening to Christmas music, or just talking and playing games. And I really felt like I was part of his family. I felt like home. And that was last year. This year, I spent Christmas doing just that. I spent it with his family. They loved me so deeply. They literally embraced me like I was their own daughter. I just looked over at my twin flame and was like, I cannot believe we're here. Like, we are here. We did it. And it's just the first of many, many, many Christmases. And so I really invite you to not give up on your union and to really see that wish fulfilled. A lot of people feel that you are going to be delusional if you imagine your life like that. And now you're living in delusion by living in separation from your twin flame, because that is not your natural state of being. So truly allow yourself to embrace what it is that you desire in your union. See it, feel it, claim it, choose it. And when you continuously choose and claim your union will claim and choose you. So I really hope that this brings you encouragement and know that it is absolutely possible to manifest union with your twin flame, even if they continuously say no. Respect that, but do the work. And when you truly do the work and you allow the work to work for you, you're going to see that no circumstance, block, or situation is actually going to keep you from union. It's a choice. And when you choose your union chooses you. So if you need more support, definitely check out twinflamesuniverse.com. You will find amazing ascension coaches who are there to provide and help guide you into your union. I would have not been able to do this without my ascension coach. She really kept me on focusing on the course and really just doing my inner work for me and God. And ultimately, it manifested into my union with my true twin flame. So I know this is going to be helpful. I will see you guys soon. Take care.